Losing body fat and keeping muscle is not the easiest thing to do, and most men make the same 3 mistakes when they go on their first cut. I've done many cuts in my time, and the first 2 I ever did were completely wrong, and I ended up losing a lot of muscle, a lot of strength, and wasting a lot of time, causing a lot of frustration, and basically just getting myself very annoyed. So I'm going to make this video to cover the 3 most common mistakes I see when it comes to losing body fat and keeping muscle. Now, before we cover those 3 mistakes, I do have a free nutritional blueprint in the description below to help make sure that you've got your numbers correct. Make sure you hit the link and grab that now. So straight into the first mistake that I see all the time is dropping your calories way too low, way too soon. And it kind of seems like the thing to do, right? You'd think, okay, right, I've been bulking or I've got a belly and I want to lose some body fat. Let me drop my calories down. Let's go super low. Let's get some poundage off the scales. And you might do it for a week and 2 weeks and think, yeah, this ain't so bad. I'm eating, 1,000 calories, 800 calories, 1,200 calories. Scales are plummeting. I've lost 10 pounds in a week. Great. Sounds amazing, right? Then you get to 2 weeks. Then you get to 3 weeks and you start to run out of energy. Start to feel like crap. Maybe you're not getting erections anymore. Maybe the performance in the gym is crap. Maybe your sleep is terrible. And most likely you're craving sugar and things that you don't even like just because you're absolutely Hank Marvin. And all it takes is one person to invite you out for a nice meal or a nice bit of food and you'll crumble and cave in and give in, right? Who wouldn't? And that's purely because a low calorie target is not necessarily sustainable, especially when it comes to the time frame you're going to need to get the achievement and the result that you want. How many times you hear people go, yeah, mate, I'm going on a diet. I've dropped my calories down. I've lost 10 pounds. And then you speak to them a couple of weeks later, maybe even a month later if they're doing really well. And you go, how's that diet going, mate? I've put it all back on actually, mate. What happened? I went out for a drink and, I'll pick it up next month. And that happens every time, right? I've done it. You've probably done it. It happens. So the reason that's a mistake is it's too much too soon. Plus, one thing to mention, if your calorie deficit is massive, then you're far more likely to lose strength and you're going to lose muscle. You're going to go catabolic. If your calories are significantly low, then your body's not going to maintain a lot of the muscle mass. And if you're just starting out, you're not going to gain any. So the way I fix this with myself and my clients is we start with our maintenance. We drop the calories into a small deficit, anywhere between 300, 500 calorie deficit, which means they often end up around 2,000 calories, which is way more sustainable, way more enjoyable, and you can be flexible with your food and you can stick to it long enough to actually do well. And you might be thinking, well, that's not low enough, surely. But once you work out the numbers and you have a solid workout plan, it's very much likely the case for most people. Here's the end of last year, I just finished a recomposition and I did this transformation here on 2,300 calories, training 3 days a week, no cardio, 45 minutes per workout. And of course, no steroids. I feel like I have to put that in there. Clearly, I'm not on the shit. If I was on it, I'd probably look a lot better. But, some people like to jump in the comments, which is fair enough, especially in this day and age. In fact, most of the transformations you see on my Instagram have been done on about 2,000 calories based on the training, nutrition, and the client. Very rarely would you need to go below 2,000. And if you don't want to go lower, you can actually add cardio to spend those extra calories. So don't drop your calories too low too soon. It's not sustainable. You'll lose muscle, your performance will be crap, and then you kind of perpetuate this on and off cycle, which is not sustainable. Again, that free nutritional blueprint in the description will help you work out your numbers. No bullshit, no faff, just straight to the point, helpful information. Mistake number 2. Lifting lighter weights. I don't know what it is, but when people go on a diet or a cut, they think, right, I'm eating less food, so I need to lift less weight, and less weight or light weight is toning. And again, I'm not judging. I did this twice. The first time I did a cut, I went in the gym, started halving my weights, lifting the weights, trying to get a squeeze in control, thinking, yeah, get a good pump. I'm toning up, bro. And the workouts weren't too bad because obviously it's lighter weight. It's a lot easier. But very, very quickly, I started to shrink. I started to get smaller. And obviously, my strength plummeted because I was training with lighter weights. And if you just take all the BS and all the he said this, that guy said that, this, that, think about it logically. What do you think is going to happen to your muscle if you're eating less food and you're lifting less weight? Why would your body keep getting stronger and bigger? You might look at the big jacked up professional athletes and go, yeah, they lift light weights, mate, and they're massive and they lose body fat, but they're also taking anabolics. So their body is already keeping the testosterone levels extremely high, which is not going to happen if you're in a massive calorie deficit without taking stuff. So if you want to take the natural route, generally speaking, you're going to need to get stronger on your cut or at least retain your strength. Eating slightly less calories, lifting heavier weights, or at least maintaining the weights you've been lifting, you're far more likely to keep hold of the mass that you've gained and avoid losing muscle on that cut. And the added benefit of this is the more muscle you hold on the cut, you're going to look better by the end of it, but you'll be able to eat more calories because muscle requires calories to be sustained. Like I said, that's how I was able to do my cut last time, doing just 3 resistance workouts per week, no longer than 45 minutes. As you get older, you get busier and you have less time. So you need to be effective with it. And to be honest with you, all of my clients are busy. They're some of the busiest people I know, and the busier the client, generally the better results they get. And that's purely because we simplify everything, track it, and adjust it every single week. So it's just straight to the point. I don't actually give my clients cardio to do exclusively. They will do it, and if they enjoy it, like playing tennis, playing rugby, hitting a step target, or if they just want to do some classes because they enjoy them, by all means, it's only going to help speed up the whole process, but it's not the main meat and potatoes of the transformation. And the reason I keep bringing that up is because a lot of people seem to think that, you know, doing cardio and eating salads is how you get shredded, where it's just not. Yes, you'll lose weight, but you'll lose muscle and look like a starved child by the end of it as well. And that perfectly leads us onto the third mistake, and that is doing too much cardio. Now that's a fine line because I don't want to badmouth cardio. Cardio is fantastic and it will actually help you lift more weights in the gym because your fitness and conditioning levels will also be accelerated from doing cardio. So if you want to do cardio on your diet, absolutely do it. But what I'm talking about is when a person's trying to keep muscle and lose body fat, and then they start stopping doing the resistance training and doing lots of cardio because it burns fat, and then they end up just losing a lot of muscle and looking like crap. I can use my good friend and client Luke as an example of this. When we first worked together, probably about 6 years ago now, he was able to lose a lot of body fat and gain a lot of muscle, and he was very pleased with it. So he went on his own way, and I just said, look, you know, try and keep up with what you've been doing, take the lessons learned and keep going. And then about 2 years later, this is around lockdown time, he messaged me on New Year's saying, hey mate, do you have any client spaces? And I said, yes, I do. Why do you need help? Because you're jacked. And he replied, oh, well, you know that thing about cardio? Well, I just did running for 2 years and I've just lost muscle and gained a bit of fat. I've had this happen to several clients where they've done like boxing classes and then started to skip out the compound lifts, or they've joined like CrossFit gyms and doing lots of jumping around and clapping around, all this silly stuff. And they always end up losing some muscle, which sometimes results in them gaining more body fat because they're not burning as many calories anymore. So cardio is not bad. Never let anyone tell you it's bad, because it's not. But if you're trying to build a lean muscular physique, achieve some form of transformation, fix the skinny fat physique, lose body fat and keep muscle, then training predominantly with strength training and resistance training and sprinkling a little bit of cardio or step targets in there is going to be the most optimal way. Some people can get away with doing those cardio and keep muscle, but I'm a naturally skinny kind of fat dude and I lose muscle like that. So for me, if I do 50% cardio, 50% resistance, I'm going to shrink and look terrible. For me personally, 80%, 90% resistance training with a little bit of cardio around it, just shave off those extra calories, works a treat. And again, as I said, all the transformations on my page are achieved predominantly through resistance training. Very, very few of these guys do cardio. In fact, one of my most amazing transformations, Alex, she did only resistance training, basically didn't do any cardio, and she's only just starting to do cardio now just because it's fun to do. But she lost literally 160 pounds plus. We actually stopped counting after that point, but she lost a crap ton of weight, training 3 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week, doing resistance training and managing their calories correctly. And again, I don't think we ever even went below 2,000 calories. Now, some of this might be common sense to you. Some of this might be like, what? This sounds completely different to what the fitness industry is telling me. And that is exactly why I'm making these videos. You'll notice they're not fancy, they're not edited, I haven't even set up a nice fancy location. I'm just saying, hey, I've been doing this since I was 14. I'm 32 now. I fell for all the bull crap. I've been coaching people successfully for 10 years, officially for about 6. And here's what I've learned to get the best transformation from a skinny fat physique to a jacked physique, keeping the body fat low and not starving yourself. And naturally without drugs, of course. So I hope these 3 tips actually help you out. There's a bunch of free shit in the bio. And if you're desperate for one-to-one help or you want the same results as my clients, you can always message me at Elite Transformation Project on Instagram. Drop a comment. And if I have any client spaces available, we can jump on a call and have a chat. Make sure you like and subscribe.